All right, hi. Exponential terms, what are they? Exponential term, or something written in exponential notation, it represents a repeated multiplication. It has a couple of parts. First part is the base, and the second part is the exponent. And each of these two parts have a particular function. First off, the base. Here, in this instance, the base is 2. So remember, it's a repeated multiplication. So the function of the base here is it's telling you what number to repeatedly multiply. So in this case, there's 2. We're going to repeatedly multiply 2. And the thing is, how many times are we going to multiply this 2 by itself? And that's where the exponent comes in. It tells us to do this 3 times. So here, what I'm going to do is write 2 times 2 times 2. That's what this 2 to the third means. Otherwise, this is known as expanded notation. So that's what this means, 2 times 2 times 2. And then when we actually perform the multiplication, we find the value of this exponential term. If the question says evaluate this exponential term, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for us, this number, this one particular number that represents this exponential term. So what number is that? Well, here we have 2 times 2. That'll give us 4. But we have to multiply this other 2 as well. So here, remember we had 4 multiplied by 2. That's 8. So that's what the value of this exponential term is, 2 to the third. Let's see another, just to make sure. So let's say if we had 3 to the fourth. That's another exponential term. And so what that notation is telling us is that we need to multiply 3 by itself 4 times. So what do I mean? Multiplying 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. And when we do that, well, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times this last 3, we'll get 81. Okay? One thing. So let's say if we have this -2 again, and let's say if we had something that looks like this, vice versa, something that looks like this. Want to point out that these two exponential terms, although they look very similar, you have to pay attention to the detail. They are different. And what makes them different? This first one differs from this second one because this first one has parentheses. That makes a world of difference. I'm about to show you what that world of difference is. How we read this is -2 raised to the fourth power. This is the opposite of 2 to the fourth power. The parentheses make a world of difference because here, these two differ because the bases are different. Okay. These parentheses, a grouping symbol, a form of grouping symbol. There's different grouping symbols. But this grouping symbol is saying that this -2, you think of this as a -2. Think of it as a package. This is -2. So, and remember, for an exponential term, we have an anatomy. There's a base, there's an exponent. Since there's parentheses here, what that's saying is that for this exponential term, the base is -2. So when we go to evaluate it, and we write in an expanded form, what we'll have is -2. -2 is the base here. So we're going to have -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. That's what that means. And when we figure that, we come up with a +16. Okay? That's what this is saying. What is this saying? Again, notice that there's no parentheses. What is the base here? Well, since there's no parentheses, we can't think of this -2 as a package. It's not they're separate. So here, for this exponential term, the base is 2. That makes a world of difference. So when we go to repeat our multiplication, since there's no parentheses here, that means the base is 2. So that means we're going to have to, well, carry over this minus sign. That's a necessity. But when we go to multiply, what this is going to be is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, just 4 times. Okay? And then when we figure that out, we'll get, well, 2 to the 4th, 2 to the 4th, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that's 16. But this is saying the opposite of 2 to the 4th. So what we'll get is a negative 16. So that's the difference. In this particular case, we very obviously come up with different results, 16 versus negative 16. But more important is the way that you think about this. Remember, exponential terms represent a repeated multiplication. So as long as you represented that repeated multiplication correctly in each of these cases, you should do great. Okay? So that's a little bit about exponential terms, and definitely being careful between these two because you will see something like this again.